I always find it exciting to go from 2 dimensions to 3. I've got the top, the back, and the sides. Now all I have to do is put them together. That shouldn't be so hard. I have the sides clamped into the form, ready to flatten the top of the sides to get it ready to glue on the top. I don't have a really good dust collection system for this particular machine, so this might be a little dusty. This is a shop-built machine. It's got a sanding table on the top and a thickness sander on the bottom using a drum sander. Well, the sanding table gave me a bit of a head start, but I really need to finish it by hand because I don't want to go too far and get this thing flattened out. First thing, I want to make sure the 4 points are the same height. So I'll start with a tail block and get a gauge. That's got to come up a bit. That's good. I'm going to make a sanding stick. This is self-adhesive sandpaper. And I'm only going to put it on one end so I can sand at this end, and this end will just ride and not erode that tail block. And then I can reverse it to do the other end, and I'll end up with something nice and flat. Well, the top of it's flat now after a bit of sanding. I've installed this central bar to make sure that this edge is parallel to the center line, because the fingerboard is going to come all the way down to about here. And if this is out of alignment, it'll look really, really bad. So we're good right there. The same height above the mold all the way around. So the next task is to set it up for gluing. And what I'll need to do is get some blocks that I can get under the edge of this thing in 5 or 6 places that are all the same height. And then I can use the go-bar deck to put the top down. I think it's ready. I have the sides locked into the mold and that little straight section running parallel to the center line. The top is cut and ready to go, except for the rosette, of course. I've cut a piece of cardboard as a cushion so the go bars don't dent the top of the guitar. And I've got a paper towel in case there's any debris I missed on that cardboard cushion. So let's do it. All set for now. Tomorrow morning I'll take it out and trim the edges. This is a contraption I made a while back for doing banding on guitars. It can pivot and run in and out, and the router can ride up and down. So it can follow the contours of the back if they're not perfectly flat. Right now I've got it set for a flush cut, so I can go around the edge of that little guitar body and take the excess off the edge of the soundboard. I'm starting with climbing cuts on those areas that would be prone to split out if I ran the router into them in the normal direction. Once the climbing cuts are done on these 4 downhill corners, then I'll run the router all the way around in the other direction. Fitting the back is pretty much like fitting the front. Flatten the edges of the sides. Mark the braces. Cut the notches in the side of the lining for the braces. And sculpt the end of the braces. Well, before I put the back on, I'm going to reinforce those 2 joints with some cross banding. This is what's done in fine classical guitars, so we might as well do it here. Of course, it's a smaller instrument, so I'm using much smaller material. I just cut some strips from the offcut of the back, so the wood matches perfectly. I've set up a workboard with blocks to keep the sides perpendicular to the soundboard, and I've put a cardboard ring down to protect the face of the soundboard when it comes under pressure from the go-bar deck. We know what happens next. Well, I've taken it out of the go-bar deck and it looks good. I'd have to trim the edges at the back and then do way too much sanding before I am able to do the rest of it. That's pretty boring to watch, so I won't video that part. If you'd like to keep up with the progress of this project, consider becoming a patron. Go on over to patreon.com/harperswood and sign up. Patrons get early access to these videos and also some exclusive content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.